Hello YouTube, this will be my new channel, Science Fiction and Mythology. I'm making this channel mainly because the content on here is going to differ from my other channel. This title is about my book that I've just recently published. It's an online book. You can check it out down below. The link should be available for all the countries involved. And this whole channel is basically going to be about the content of my book, the reviews, comments, anything that people will have about it, for future installments. This is the first in the series. The book is called The Nosfaron, and it is the first book of the series, The War of 10,000 Suns. It's based off of Hindu and Persian mythology. Why Hindu and Persian mythology? Well, I find Persian and Hindu mythology to be really interesting, and there is a lot to tell. This book, however, is based upon it. It does have Arjuna in there and Krishna and such, but it also has a bunch of other characters, such as Miriam, Nam, others, which are complete inventions. The story itself is a complete invention. It's not a retelling of anything from actual Hinduism, but it does sort of have the same philosophical vibe that the Mahabharata has. And yeah, there may some of the Ramayana thrown in there, but it is not necessarily a retelling of the stories. It's actually the story of its own. It's based upon Hindu and Persian mythology. I've managed to mix the two together because I thought it was pretty interesting. Because I really didn't want to do a book just based on Hindu and Persian, or Hindu mythology and then Persian mythology. I was like, well, why don't we just stick it together? So it kind of fits into like sort of an alternate history, an alternate mythology. The book is narrated by Ferdowsi, who is in real life, a well-known Persian poet. In this book, of course, it's an alternate timeline. So the book itself deals with the multiverse theory and stuff like that. As the later installments progress, it will actually be more in tune to the multiverse theory than anything else. Garsos is in it. He's fused with the real life, or the fabled father of King Cyrus, Achaemenes. So his name is Garsos of Achaemenes. There's also the Immortals are in there. They're a little different from the ones that you may know of in 300, but they are pretty awesome. Outcomes will be different. For one, they're not fighting Greeks. And it's referred to as the Farce Empire as opposed to the Achaemenid Empire. Hindu Marta it's a collection of nations, but itself through the union it's referred to as a nation. Arjuna is the prince of Hindu Marta, and of course you have Krishna, you have Alyssa, you have Miriam, who's there's more to Alyssa and Miriam than they know, and it's hinted at throughout the book, and you kind of find out later on. There is something about them that is really going to be an interesting development in future installments. No, they're not lesbians. It's actually going to be to deal with like power and stuff like that. They're twin dreamers, and basically what that is um, that there's epigraphs in there that will explain that theory goes that dreamers, the souls of a dreamer, was created, fashioned out of the first flash of the universe, essentially the Big Bang, and throughout time they are reborn. And a twin dreamer realizes that there's two people that have to share the desire, and they can alter reality. But they don't know it. That's the problem. So there's an interesting development not to get them to realize this, because that could lead to problems later on, which I will not discuss because I think that I don't want to spoil the book. Nosfaron is the main antagonist. He is seeking to create the Nosfaron, which will break down the barriers of the multiverse and collect the fragments of Ahriman, which is the Persian devil in Zoroastrianism. Now, Ahriman was shattered and scattered about the multiverse. In each universe, he's usually under a hollow tree. In this one, a fragment awakens, and yeah. So there might be something that later on the character of Ahriman will actually develop. Ahriman's going to be the main antagonist of the series. Nosfaron is going to be the main antagonist of this book. Now, Nosfaron wants to have this desire to create this machine in order to recollect the fragments to basically become God and rule over the multiverse. Now, the actual the other characters do play a part. Maul and Nam are engineers. They create the Vimanas, which are the mythological flying machines. In this book, they're kind of more so science fiction-y rather than mythological. And they're doing their little bit. And she's Maul herself is making upgrades, and Nam is her supervisor. They kind of have a father and daughter relationship, but the relationship to each other is unclear at this point. You find out later in the book just where they actually will stand. And it's pretty interesting development, I think. I explained it pretty well. Now, for future installments, I will be looking for comments on what people think where I should go with this. But I do feel that this series will eventually, hopefully, be something that's not boring. Something that's new. It's about a mythology that most of us aren't most people aren't too familiar with. If you are familiar with it, you'll still find it interesting because it's discussing, it's putting basically the mythologies in a different light. Beowulf is also mentioned, but he will be making more of an appearance in later installments, so we're going to be throwing in some of that Anglo-Saxon mythology in there. But anyway, check out the book. You can read, I believe, the first 2.5 chapters. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you can read it for free. And if you like it, like the video, comment, subscribe. Tell me how you feel about it, what you hope to see in future books, and I will try to get back with you. I'm a first-time author, so I don't have like a huge fan base, so I really want to take this time and actually be engaged with the fans. It's just an online book, but I'm hoping that there'll at least be some fans to engage with, and I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, that will be all. I will be making further updates on this channel, discussing the book, and see you later.